Welcome to Hope for Children Now Live. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tonight marks a very special milestone. Children Rising celebrates 20 years of empowering the community to empower children and youth to rise to their God-given potential. For 20 years, you have come alongside thousands of children and youth as they build bridges to a better future. So, I hope everybody's relaxed, enjoying a nice beverage and a meal, and ready to celebrate with us. I'm joined this evening by Jonathan Mays, the chairman of Children Rising's board of directors. And don't worry, we are still staying 6 feet away from each other. Good evening, Jonathan.
Good evening, Jim, and thank you so much for being here tonight. I am so excited to be with you tonight, and thank you for joining us. I also want to give a special thanks to Bay Farm Church here in Alameda for again opening their doors to help host our event tonight. And we're blessed by the partnerships we share with so many church congregations like Bay Farm Church.
And now, we are very excited to introduce our very special guest of the evening, who really needs no introduction. She is an Oscar, Grammy, Emmy, and Tony Award-winning actress, singer, and performer. Over the course of a 70-plus year career, she is best known for her role as Anita in the 1961 West Side Story. She will be seen in the Steven Spielberg-directed retelling of West Side Story later this year. Many also know her for her spirited performances in The Electric Company, the groundbreaking educational children's television show. In addition to performing, she's also been an advocate for many civic, cultural, and charitable movements, focusing on racial equity, hunger, early childhood education, and higher education for students of color. Please welcome via Zoom, Ms. Rita Moreno.
I was asked to join you this evening. I did some sleuthing, and I checked you out, and learned happily that you are a community of volunteers working on behalf of the health, welfare, and benefits of children in need in Oakland. So that's a good place for me to be. And it's not a new place, but it's a good place to be. So here I am. Honestly, let me start back a little bit. I had no idea that I loved children so much until I had a child. And knowing how self-absorbed people in my profession are, I was actually worried, having been in therapy for a number of years, I was kind of worried that I would somehow not pay enough attention to this new little stranger in my belly. Would I be a good mom? Can I handle this? And especially after what happened to be a 24-hour labor. But the moment that my husband put this little girl named Fernanda Luisa into my arms, I knew that I was hers. And I began to cry, not for the obvious reasons. I began to cry because I thought if anyone tries to hurt this little child, I will kill them. I remember that. I will never forget that. And I can only tell you that breastfeeding was the happiest things that happened to my life. I ended up getting a pinched nerve in my neck because I was always looking down at her. I couldn't get enough of her. So from the day she was born, you could say that I started working in my profession for her in a very special way to make her proud. And it's why I wanted to do a show called The Electric Company, which is a marvelous show done by the Children's Television Workshop. And I remember very clearly that all my friends and colleagues said, "Are you crazy? Don't do a children's show. You will never work as an adult again in your business." And I remember saying back to them, wait a minute. I'm talking about teaching here. talking about doing a service, a community service, because I can tell you right now, we were not getting paid a lot of money. That's not why any of us were really doing this in the first place. And I said to my friends, because it's on television doesn't cheapen its value. Isn't teaching children to read a basic human service? And I got to tell you that some of my best fans came from that show, and I still have them. Isn't that a great? Anyway, let me tell you a little story about being on the electric company and having children for an audience. I was going up the escalator at Bloomingdale's in New York City, because that's where the show was being done. And a little girl, a tiny little girl, could not have been more than 5, was staring at me. She had turned around, we were going up, and she just kept looking at me. And I thought, well, she's seen me on the show. She's going to say something. And when we stepped off, she said to me, "The electric cup of tea," which, by the way, a lot of kids said they didn't get it right. The electric company. And I said, "That's right." And she said to me, she's looking way up, and she says, "How do you get out?" Which really meant, how do you get out of the box that she was watching? And I went into this long discussion. Well, honey, you see, there's a big room with bright lights, and it's called a television studio, and they have a camera there, sort of like the one that what your mommy takes pictures of you with. And then they broadcast, and I thought, that's not a good word, but it's the only one I know, your picture, and then eventually it comes on the television where you can see me. And she looked up at me and she said, "But how did you get out?" My best audiences, I loved it. The old song says that he holds the whole world in his hands, the little tiny babies in his hands. Well, here's those news. Here's the big news. Those tiny little babies turn into grown-ups. And those grown-ups very often are alone in this world because of their color or because of their nationality. And it's up to those of us who care to look after them in whatever way we can, which is, I know, why we're here this evening. And just like you, I'm tremendously concerned about the most vulnerable among us, their health, their education, their well-being, especially the poor, the immigrants, the refugee, the vulnerable. And despite what the other side says, they are not lazy, and they're not sitting home waiting for their welfare check. That just makes me enraged when I hear that. And we know who says things like that. And there are a lot of them, unhappily, more than we ever maybe dreamed. There's lots of those people. So we have to do what we can to help the people who really need the help, and we know who they are. I came to this country when I was 5 years old with my mommy and a set of poor people's matched luggage, which of course were shopping bags. I didn't know it, but my mom was fleeing what was then the stinging poverty of Puerto Rico. My mom was looking for a better life for the two of us. She did something extraordinary for that time. She divorced my father because, among other things, he was a womanizer and he wasn't really helping her out in any way whatsoever. So she did something amazing. She came to this country after the divorce, left me with him and my grandparents, and got a job very quickly because she sewed so well, doing sweatshop work as a seamstress in one of those sweatshops. And when she had made enough money, she went back to Puerto Rico on the same ship, by the way, and brought me back to the United States with the explanation that we're going to go to a place where everybody is good to you and you have opportunities, and it's all going to be much, much better than it is now. Didn't happen that way, but it was an extraordinary experience. It was freezing when I got to America, which was New York. I had never known a winter. I had never seen trees without leaves on them. And I remember asking my mom on the bus on the way to stay with an aunt of hers, what happened to the trees? And she said, "Oh, honey, it's called winter." It was a place where I discovered snow with such glee. I discovered rooftops, just like in West Side Story, where we played in the snow. I ran from the bullies at school who were calling me spick and garlic mouth. And it was sort of like West Side Story. Anyway, every day of my childhood, my mom, Rosa Maria, left our cockroach-infested apartment, walked me to school, and then she climbed the bus that carried her from 181st Street and Wadsworth Avenue to 42nd Street and 5th, which was the heart of the garment district. And there she worked for hours, pumped the treadle, wound the bobbins, and for hours and hours, chalked the hems. That was my mommy, the sweatshop seamstress. She was the working poor, the people they're now calling lazy. It was backbreaking work, but it was a job and it paid the rent. So mentors, role models, they didn't exist back then. And certainly not for a little girl like me. I never had a mentor. People assume that everybody has a mentor, especially when they're in show business, not me. So that's really essentially why I am here, to celebrate and support your good work of hope, labor, love, and I want to encourage you to keep the faith that you are, and you will make a difference. I have a friend who belongs to this organization, Annie Rosenberg. So for the business at hand, let me get to the point. This is a fundraiser, right? So whoever can, open your checkbook, grab your calendar, volunteer, give some greenbacks, money to help out. This is important work, but I don't have to tell you that. But you got to make it happen. That's you and I have to make it happen. I'm forever moved when a movie, play, or a real life, you see the bailiff bark at this, the judge enters and he says, "All rise." It reminds me that in the presence of justice, all do rise. Those of us who care. That's a matter of justice for all. Thank you for putting up with me and my pieces of paper. And let's hope that we make some real money for something very real and very important that you all know about. I don't have to tell you that, do I? And hi, Annie.
Wow. Let's give it up for Ms. Rita Moreno. Now, as you know, I have been a Children Rising reading tutor for the past several years. And this year, we've had the privilege of tutoring a second grader online. I have to stay right here and now. It has been a remarkable journey that the staff of Children Rising have converted the in-school clinics to the Zoom platform with the training and the links and the materials and more training, right, Becca? They've been remarkable. The staff should be very, very proud of themselves. So this past school year has been a challenge, no doubt about it. But the Children Rising has found new opportunities amidst the challenges. So let's hear right now from some of our dedicated team about the amazing transformation that we have made this year to reach children and their families.
20 years ago, the members of First Covenant Church dreamed of what was possible for their city. Today, we celebrate 20 years of empowering the community to empower the kids of Oakland.
Jeremiah 29:7, seek the shalom of the city where I have sent you. Shalom, peace, prosperity, health, and wholeness. Church member Mary Shaw invited church members to volunteer at the school across from First Covenant, Redwood Heights. They want mentors to come over and work with these children, many of them dealing with family issues. Well, I, among others, signed up, which I did for 2 years. It was very meaningful. Oakland Unified School District Superintendent Dennis Shikonis was invited to speak to pastors of Oakland, and he said, we need you and your congregations to adopt a neighborhood school. And that really, was a seed that kept growing.
The idea of energizing the community, churches, civic groups, businesses, to nurture and empower the next generation was born. Since the beginning, we have first listened to the needs of our local educators, then developed programs in support of their needs.
Carolyn Perino was with us from the start. She developed the literacy tutoring program that became known as Succeeding by Reading. Carolyn retired this past year after almost 20 years of service. But her pioneering work has empowered thousands of second grade children to learn to read. What a wonderful legacy of building bridges of hope.
Along the way, we created Path to Math, an interventional tutoring program, helping second grade children learn the fundamentals of math so they will have a fair chance in the third grade and beyond. We created Careerbridge, helping high school students explore career options and develop professional skills.
And through our Health for Kids program, we provide nourishing food for children and families so they can have healthy meals at home over the weekend.
Because of COVID, we developed online versions of our proven in-school mentoring and tutoring programs so we could support the kids and their families in their homes. The solution is simple, but it is not easy given the high number of children who need additional education support early in school. Next year, we plan to provide both in-person and online tutoring. This will enable many more members of our community to empower more children to rise to their God-given potential. Our dream, as we start our next 20 years, is that every child can have a tutor, and that each tutor can nurture and equip a child for multiple years.
Hold a crown before our kids and watch them grow into it. To me, that sounds like children rising.
Now, I would like to introduce the current Executive Director of Children Rising, Jim Wambach. Hi, Jim. Good evening.
Hey, Jim. Thanks. And thanks for being here tonight. And most importantly, thank you for everything you've done for the kids over the years. It's been amazing what you've done. And we're just lucky to have you again tonight as the host. So thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. I hope you've enjoyed the evening so far. Over the last 20 years, the Children Rising community of hundreds of caring adults have come alongside thousands of children to support, demonstrate, and reinforce week after week how much each of those kids truly matters. As these kids prove to themselves that they are as capable as anyone else, their self-confidence grows, they become more engaged in school, and they begin to dream bigger dreams for the future. That, we hope, is the legacy of Children Rising, a caring community helping the city become better and stronger, one precious child at a time. During this past year, as we moved our reading and math clinics online to continue the one-on-one tutoring experience, The Oakland Undivided campaign, which some of you may not know, is a partnership between the Mayor's Office of Education, Oakland Unified School District, the Oakland Public Education Fund, and Tech Exchange. That organization made dramatic strides towards closing the digital divide. They provided hotspots and Chromebooks to thousands of students that were previously not able to access the internet from home. We saw the impact of this firsthand as our kids and their tutors experienced quality online connections so they could tutor, but as importantly, they were able to develop caring and supportive relationships. Importantly, as the viability of online tutoring began to emerge, many more volunteers from all over the Bay Area have now been inspired to show up for the kids of Oakland. We've been absolutely amazed about the volunteer level. In the years ahead, there's now, taking all of this, a profound opportunity in front of all of us to do more for more kids and truly make meaningful progress in closing the devastating achievement gap that has existed for so long and for so many truly, truly capable children. Since the beginning, we have imagined, as you heard, a city where every child feels loved and safe and has reliable adults who model positive value. We can now begin to imagine a city where every elementary school child has a tutor to empower them to rise above their challenges and reach his or her God-given potential. And those children will no longer be excluded by technology or a lack of financial resources. Truly a profound opportunity for all of us. There are several ways you can help make all of this a reality and make it a part of your personal legacy. Many of you have already provided significant financial support or have volunteered over the last 20 years. A whole bunch of you have done both. So thank you. And please know that what you've done, the time you've committed, the financial support you've provided, you've made an important difference in the lives of many children and their families. I also, though, invite you to become a member of our new Children Rising Legacy Circle by considering a planned financial gift. Your planned gift can provide support far into the future as we begin the next 20 years of Children Rising, empowering the community to empower the next generation. You can learn more about planned giving and the Children Rising Legacy Circle on our website if you're interested, and I hope you are. So, again, I hope you've enjoyed this evening so far. Thank you for everything you do for the kids, and thank you again for being with us tonight.
Thank you again, Jim, very much. That's terrific.
Thank you, Jim.
Now, I'd like to bring on the stage tonight the glorious, the fabulous, the wonderful Margina Wade Green. In addition to being the lovely co-host of this evening's presentation, Margina is the program director of Path to Math and Careerbridge. Good evening, Margina. How are you?
Hi, Jim. It's so great being with you this evening. Thank you. I have to tell you that when schools closed last March, 1,800 second grade students in Oakland were significantly behind in reading and math. Despite the efforts of our wonderful teachers and principals and administrators, that gap has only widened. Let's see how Children Rising was able to transform their one-on-one Path to Math tutoring program to reach children with the most need in their homes and help them get back on track.
I didn't want him to fall behind. So I was really concerned that he would, because I'm not a teacher. I'm a grandma, I'm not a teacher. So I was really worried that I wouldn't be able to give him what he needed to sustain his level of learning.
The onset of COVID and the shelter in place really made us pivot quickly to figure out how to provide a meaningful online service to our students and their families. We were able, and we needed to, reach out to the parents, and so that brought them in closer to the program that we are delivering.
The online tutoring has allowed us to adapt to the students' need on a more individual level. However, with everything that's going on in their house, in their home, their environment, it can be challenging sometimes. But because their regular teachers just can't give them the individual attention they need, we as tutors can do that, even if it's just an hour a week.
What if you just have 7 minus 5? What's
2?
that? 2, and you just add a 1 to it. A 10 to it.
12.
12, there you go.
He tends to drift, and I think that's because of the COVID and being home for this last year. There's some challenges there, but he is progressing.
And he's ready to work when we get online. He loves when we do speed flashcards, and he's been showing some interest in geometry. So it's been fun. It's been great.
Sometimes we do some flashcards before doing ISL. And yeah, that's kind of fun doing flashcards.
When we first started working last year, he was at least 1 grade level behind. And now I can tell you today, he is right on target for 3rd grade work. We're really proud of his progress.
He enjoys working with Mr. Rito. By the end of their hour, usually he doesn't even want to stop.
Subtract it from over here. So take this one off and take this one off. How many do you have left?
I'm gonna do 3.
3?
3A.
Yes, very good.
And it helps me with my math skills and stuff. And some fractions and multiplication and addition.
What I love about Children Rising is their dedication to help the kids. No stone is left unturned to get the kids to show up for tutoring or to give them the extra support they need. Their program is well-rounded, organized, and very effective.
It gives him a sense of accomplishment, and he really gets engaged when we do it. The program was really, really helpful for us this past year. And I really mean that. I don't know what we would have did without the program this year.
And one of the gifts that we can give them is a gift of literacy. It's so important to a child. So children, this is a true fact, children who cannot read in the 3rd grade will probably not graduate from high school.
Wow.
Research demonstrates that children become readers when they have the support in their own efforts to learn to read, are able to enjoy age-appropriate books, and are encouraged by positive role models.
Yeah.
So let's see how the program I'm involved in, Succeeding by Reading, was able to work with children through one-on-one online tutoring.
When I was first reaching out to Carlos's family to arrange for pre-testing, Carlos's mother let me know that she knew that her son needs help with reading, but she didn't know how to help him. She didn't know what to do to support his reading.
He has a positive outlook. He's very resilient with all of his Zoom skills. And he doesn't hesitate to seize the moment and celebrate when he's learning something new. I hear him laughing and giggling, and that is just a wonderful thing to experience with him.
We work with a student based on the skills that they already know, and we start working with them reviewing those skills and making sure that the students are solid with those skills and confident in themselves. And then we start adding on little by little.
Carlos has made great progress in this short period of time. He's increased his sight word vocabulary by 39 words. We've read through 4 levels of books and have progressed to the next bin. And his comprehension level has really starting to take hold in that he reads with expression, he self-corrects, and he's enjoying the storyline so much more.
1, 2, 3, they 3 little pigs, 3 funny little pigs.
Well, the transition to online tutoring was obviously a difficult transition. Our program has been so relational, so in-person, and so hands-on with all of our tutoring materials that it was really challenging to envision how that could work in a distance learning format.
I know we all felt some nervous apprehension at first, but then we just decided to all join hands and just jump in.
We're so excited about exploring different ways that we can use this new tool, possibly adding a second session to students' tutoring portfolio in addition to an in-person session at one point in the week, and then adding that second online session. It could be that we can also work with older students to build fluency and do review of phonics and sight words with them online.
I think it's just amazing and remarkable that Children Rising was able to pivot so quickly and design this wonderful online program that enables regular people like me to deliver.
Say rug.
Mug and sun and rug.
Okay, which one rhymes?
I also feel that it's one of the most meaningful ways that you can spend 55 minutes of your week doing in helping a child in reading and changing a life.
And we're so grateful to be able to come alongside this family and provide the support so that Carlos can build the skills he needs to become a successful, fluent reader.
So, you know, children love a good story, something that lets their imagination soar. Despite the constraints imposed by distant learning, our Succeeding by Reading a Library Services program, led by Kim Flom, has continued to open the doors of reading to the kids in our community. Over the past year, their Grab and Go book giveaways have put over 3,000 books into the hands of eager readers. They have reopened the library at Carl Monk Elementary School, which had been closed for 5 years. And working in Carl Monk and MLK Junior Elementary Schools, they have developed 900 loaner bags so kids have access to books. And they've continued to read to children through online reading sessions. Margina, it is remarkable, but it's so basic too. We take for granted that how important reading is.
That's true. And the young women and men in our Careerbridge program hardly missed a beat this past year. Let's see how they have continued to explore career opportunities, develop professional skills, and use cutting-edge technology like the Oculus virtual reality headsets. It was a very generous gift from our corporate partner, LBX Immersive.
Many youth in the East Bay struggle to find opportunities that will set them on the path to a fulfilling career. And with COVID-19 restrictions, opportunities were more limited than ever. We wanted to make sure that our young women and men had a chance to explore career options. So we developed an online version of Careerbridge. Over the past year, they have been learning professional skills, participated in meaningful internships, developed a micro business, and gained invaluable experience.
Careerbridge kept their doors open, and their program provided an opportunity for students to use their time to learn about career opportunities. What's really important to me is how they taught us how to make a resume and cover letter and handle an interview process, which is important because it helps us get internships now, and we will be able to use those skills in the future as well.
This was my first internship, and of course, being a first internship or a first job, you don't want to mess it up at all. You don't want to screw it up. But it gave me a great understanding of how jobs work, and it gave me a great understanding of how the world works. And I'm just really thankful for it because it was absolutely amazing.
My internship with Caltrans taught me a lot, especially about the different job opportunities within their company, from engineers to HR. And that's important because a lot of young people want to know what kind of jobs they could pursue in the future. Heart to Heart greeting cards was a business we made to sell our original designs for cards and use some of the proceeds to help patients at Children's Hospital. I was part of the marketing team, and we handled social medias and outreach, and I already knew how to use social media, but it was good to learn how to apply that to business.
Combined, we really made it work, and we really got it off the ground working. This was really beneficial to each one of us starting our own businesses.
Using the Oculus VR headsets was really interesting because in a time like this where we can't really see many people, being able to interact with each other and see each other's faces was really great. It'll also be interesting to see how this technology develops as it becomes more accessible, knowing that we used it in an earlier stage.
Careerbridge gave me the online experience that I desperately needed. I think that without Careerbridge's help, I wouldn't have been able to finish some of the schoolwork that I've done, some of the internships that I've done, and a lot of the work that I've done. Because using their help, it really gave me a great push.
Careerbridge is a great opportunity, and it's a community with adults that care about your well-being and students who have your same interests, and I really appreciated that.
We are blessed to work with such brilliant minds, and they would not have had this opportunity had it not been for Careerbridge and Children Rising.
When shelter-in-place restrictions started, over 30 dedicated Health for Kids volunteers gave their times at the Alameda County Community Food Bank, assembling thousands of bags of nutritious food each month so the kids would not go hungry over the weekend. Although the need was greater than ever, we were forced to put our Healthy for Kids program on hiatus. In our absence, the National Guard, under the direction of Governor Newsom, stepped in to support the volunteer needs at the food bank. And last summer, thanks to a grant from Safeway, we distributed $25,000 worth of Safeway gift cards to families in our program. We know that healthier lifestyles are crucial to student learning and well-being, and we are in communication with the food bank in hopes of returning to our bagging program for the upcoming school year. And right now, a very, very special message from Oakland's mayor, the Honorable Libby Schaaf.
Hi, I'm Oakland's Mayor Libby Schaaf. So happy to be with you to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Children Rising. And what a perfect theme for this year's gala, Bridges of Hope. I can't think of anything more apropos to the year 2021. Our children need us now more than ever. And while we see signs of hope in our COVID case rates coming down, in our schools beginning to reopen, we know that our children will never get that year of learning back, ever. We also know that nothing is more impactful in the life of a child than a caring adult. Children Rising has been providing those caring adults in such an impactful way to the children and families of Oakland for 20 years. Your proven math and reading tutoring, your career awareness and health initiatives have literally made our city healthier, more brilliant, and have a brighter future. The other bridge of hope is that while this year has been so devastating, loss of life, loss of learning for our children and families, we did accomplish one good thing, and that was to begin to bridge the digital divide. And that's why nonprofits that are trusted, that are known by the community, and have used their nimbleness to pivot to meet this moment, like Children Rising, are ready to meet this new opportunity by moving more of your tutoring to an online format. You not only can reach more children, but can also engage more volunteers, more caring adults, more impactful mentors. That is our opportunity and our challenge. We need to not just close the digital divide, but the opportunity divide, the achievement divide. And that is what Children Rising has proven year after year they know how to do. There are 3 ways that you can help. Of course, give generously. This is one of the most trusted and effective organizations in Oakland that is poised to make the difference that our children need right now as we recover from this pandemic. Second, volunteer with more online opportunities, and of course that great, amazing connection that only a mentoring relationship can give you. You and your friends will be so glad that you have gotten involved as a volunteer or tutor for Children Rising. And then finally, spread the good word. People need to know about the amazing work that this organization has done for Oakland and our children for 20 years, and I'm sure for many more years to come. Congratulations, happy anniversary, and please, thank you for creating a brighter future for Oakland and the world.
Thank you, Mayor Schaaf, and all of our leaders for their dedication to getting the children back to the school safely. It is inspiring to see the community come together for the kids in so many ways. Isn't that right,
Really
Jim?
is.
It's absolutely remarkable.
Absolutely amazing. It's just absolutely amazing. So let me just take a moment, and I'd like to acknowledge our sponsors, our generous Hope for Children Now sponsors. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do so many things. So thank you to our Legacy Builder sponsors. And thank you to our valedictorian level sponsors. Thank you as well to our scholar sponsors. We've had so many this year. And finally, thank you to all of our amazing table sponsors for making this evening possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you to the sponsors. So when you look on the PayBee site, when we go back to that, you'll see a goal and you'll see some money that's been donated, and it's a pretty sizable contribution so far. That is due to all these incredible sponsors that have
really
come through tonight.
Yeah.
What a fantastic group.
Yeah.
Their support is crucial to the work that we are doing in our community schools. Thank you so very much, all of you. You know who you are. Your names are on there. We thank you so much. So now we're going to turn this back over to the incredible Children Rising Board Chair, Jonathan Mays, to share how a little encouragement and confidence building has gone a long way with one of our kids. But before I hand it over to you, Jonathan, I just want to acknowledge your time for 6 years that you have been on the board of Children Rising, the last 3 as the board chair. And you're cycling off now. I know you're not going far away from the Children Rising family. So from everybody involved with Children Rising, thank you for your leadership, your contributions, your friendship, and your faith. We appreciate it so very much.
Thank you very much, and it's been a privilege, an absolute privilege. Let me give you a number. Tell me what comes to your mind. The number is 426. 426, that's approximately the number of days that most kids in public school in the greater Bay Area have not been in class on a regular basis. 426. Think about that for a second. Let me give you another number. The number is 7. And 7 represents the age of a delightful, darling young girl whose name is Adeline. Let me tell you more about her. Adeline loves being around people, but she's not been able, like so many kids, to be around. And even with class not being in person, she's done her best to engage online, but it's been hard. She's full of energy, and just sitting there, it's just tough for her. And so because of just all of that's going on, it's been hard for her to stay up with her assignments, and particularly with reading. And Jim talked about the importance of reading. I'm here to tell you that Children Rising is a bridge. It's a bridge to kids just like Adeline. Adeline's mom has been really concerned and said, boy, we need some help. We need to figure out what we can do to get her to be more focused. And there's a teacher whose name is Mr. George, who offered to come alongside and to spend time with Adeline. The first time they spoke, Adeline was kind of shy, didn't really know how to respond. She was a little bit uncomfortable. But overnight, it just turned. And so they are just having a terrific time growing and learning together. So much so that in one of the first sessions, Mr. George, when Adeline, the lights came on and she just really figured out the concept, Mr. George said, pat yourself on the back. And she did it with enthusiasm and vigor. Miss Deborah, the teacher, has just noticed the improvement in Adeline's life academically. That's just one of many, many stories of what Children Rising does to be the bridge between where the kid is and where the kid can be. And because of great tutors like Mr. George and so many others, many of you who are watching tonight, because of your efforts, we're seeing more and more stories of kids who are bridging the gap towards a brighter future. And it's all because of the tutors, but even more so, perhaps, is because of the generous contributions from people like you. We want more stories like Adeline, and you can be a part of that, and we encourage and invite you to do so. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being here tonight.
Jonathan, again, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your time on the board. Absolutely terrific. I know you're not going to go too far from the Children Rising family. So many of us are church members in our faith-based community. So one more time, I'd like to have Jonathan finish up with a closing prayer. Jonathan.
Thank you. Thank you very much for a terrific job tonight.
Thank you.
If you're with your family and you guys feel comfortable doing that, I wish we could all be together, but if you're with your family, just grab their hand, if you will, and would you just pray with me as we close tonight on this wonderful evening? God, I just want to acknowledge that you are a great God whose love is forever, whose grace is beyond amazing. And we just want to just acknowledge your goodness and your greatness tonight. We want to thank you for all that was accomplished tonight to raise funds for kids who are so precious in your sight. I remember the song, brown, red, yellow, black, and white. They're all precious in your sight. God, we know that you love the kids. And God, thank you for allowing us to be a part, to help them flourish and to be their best academically, so they can continue to go on and do great things in their life. God, I thank you for Children Rising for 20 years. I thank you for Randy Roth, who started this as the vision 20 years ago. Thank you for the many, many volunteers who've come alongside and have just said, I know I'm busy, but I'm going to take time because I care about your precious children. So God, we just give you thanks again for this opportunity to be a part of this event tonight, to support this terrific organization, Children Rising. God, I pray for the next 20 years that you'll continue to cause it to grow and to prosper and to reach even more kids so that they can grow into the crown that Randy was talking about, that they can become their best selves. God, thank you for tonight and for all that was accomplished, and we give you thanks. And together we say, amen.
And now, to close with some music, I'd like to welcome back Zuri Soul. She'll close out our evening with an original song called Zuri Stepping, especially for you tonight. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your contributions, and good night.
Thank you so much for tuning into the Children Rising. We hope that you enjoy our show. We are Zuri Soul. She won't be back. They say no, she won't act like that. They don't know how that made me feel. It only They say I don't know who she is. Yeah, she look at me like she the biz. But I gotta be grateful for mine. I've been blessed like all the time. Yeah, I'm on cloud nine. Look how my life on mine. I don't wanna hurt nobody. I just came to have a party. So much more we can do than me and you and you. Everyone in here is alive. Look over there at that guy. The night has just begun. It's time to have some fun. Let's party, let's dance, let's drink all night. Let's party, turn up, it feels alright. I'm known to party from the town where we get down. From the south to the bay, run these streets straight to LA. It's not about me and you. Come together, what to do? Blow and we shine like the stars. Come with me, we will go far. Everyone has to know, everyone has to see, everyone, you are me. Look at how great we can be. I don't wanna hurt nobody. I just came to have a party. So much more we can do than me and you and you. Everyone in here is alive. Look over there at that guy. The night has just begun. It's time to have some fun. Let's have some fun. Everyone, everyone. Let's have some fun. Turn stepping tonight. Yeah. Let's party, let's dance tonight. Let's party, let's dance tonight. Yeah. Let's party, let's dance, let's party.